Hi, this is Monica from Add a Little Dazzle, and in today's video we're going to teach you an amazing technique that will help you create this beautiful background effect on your craft metal sheets. So stay tuned. The Brayered Embossing Technique is a very easy technique to incorporate into your stamping, and normally when you do this with cardstock you will use classic ink. The great news is you can still do this using classic ink on Add a Little Dazzle craft metal sheets, but there are some extra steps required. So before we begin, let me show you the different inks that you can use to create this effect on metal. You can use your Stays On ink. Here I have cotton white and I have jet black. You can use your classic inks and you can use your pigment inks, your craft ink. Now Stampin' Up! Does carry Whisper White craft ink. I just didn't have any on hand, so I used what I had. And so these are all options when creating this brayered embossing look on Add a Little Dazzle craft metal sheets. There are just some extra steps that you may need to use to create this stunning effect. So let's go ahead and begin this process, and I'm going to demonstrate this with the craft ink. To begin this process, there are some basic tools you're going to need. You're going to need some craft ink, you're going to need your brayer, you're going to need an embossing buddy, your impressions folder of choice, and a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of brushed bronze craft metal sheet or metal sheet in any color that you choose. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by taking my metal sheet and I'm going to run my embossing buddy over it. So here's my impressions folder. Here is the logo, and I'm going to open it to my left. And this is the area that I am going to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to ink it up so I have full coverage on my brayer. So once I've done that, I'm going to roll it over the area. And so here I've completely covered this in ink. Put this back under. And I'm going to place it color side down on the inked area. That's always a rule. If you're going to ink this area, that's fine, but the color side must be facing down on that side. Place it down exactly where you want it. Then you're just going to take your impressions folder and close it, and you are going to run this through your big shot. Okay, as you can see, I've placed it on top of the multi-purpose platform just like I would regularly emboss a piece of cardstock on tab 1. And I'm going to run it through. Okay, so I have now finished embossing this piece, and I'm going to open it up and remove it. And as you can see, the area that I inked is now white. So what I'm going to do in order for this craft ink to set, I need to use white embossing powder. So I'm just going to take some and place it on top of this. All the areas covered. Tap it lightly. And because you use the embossing buddy, you shouldn't have a lot of strays of the embossing powder in areas where it doesn't belong. You may still run into some. And if you do, then just take a paintbrush and lightly remove it. And go ahead and grab this with a clothespin on one side and heat emboss this entire piece. It is important that you remember that you must use a clothespin to hold it, or you will burn yourself because the metal will get very hot. Here's my heat embossed piece, and as you can see, it has created a very beautiful dramatic effect. Now sometimes you may not want such a dramatic effect and you want something a little bit lighter. That's fine. Then my recommendation is that you use Stays On ink, and you use the same method, and as you can see, it creates more of a toned down look. It depends what kind of look you're going for, but if that's what you want, then you definitely want to use Stays On, because Stays On will stick to metal and you won't have to heat set it, because the minute you heat set it, it gives it more of a deep, rich look. Now, If you want to do this with classic ink, you can also do it. The only thing you're gonna follow the same steps we did, using the embossing buddy and putting in the ink and running it through the Big Shot. And then what you're gonna do is you're either going to pour embossing powder over it with a coordinating color so that it'll be richer, or you can use clear embossing powder. Either way, heat set it and you're set to go, and you have created this beautiful Brayered Embossing Technique look. Now, I do want to mention a couple of things. Once you are done with this technique, you want to make sure to clean your embossing folder, because you can use it for regular embossing. Take a baby wipe and just wipe it down. Now, if you are doing this with StazOn ink, then you want to put on StazOn remover, and you want to clean it quickly, because then it will stain. It'll be ready to use for your next project. I absolutely fell in love with this technique and its possibilities with metal, such as in this card. The great news is that if you visit us at www.addalittledazzle.com today, you can download your free PDF tutorial so you can finish learning how to create this entire card. In addition, if you love learning new techniques and you love the idea of working with metal sheets and you want to step up your crafting, then I invite you to join the Add a Little Dazzle Virtual Club. It is a private, password-protected site where we offer you exclusive projects every month in the comfort of your home. We invite you to check us out by visiting us at www.addalittledazzleonline.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at monica@addalittledazzle.com. Thanks, and have a dazzling day.